In light of the recent wildfires that have tragically affected Los Angeles and surrounding areas, MOWIFF and the 3 Up 3 Down podcast stands in solidarity with the communities impacted by these devastating events. Our hearts go out to all the families and individuals who have been affected, and we extend our deepest gratitude to the brave first responders, firefighters, and emergency personnel working tirelessly to contain the fires and ensure public safety.
One of the best things about having this kind of setting, something just relaxed, sitting here just shooting the shit and talking about wiffle ball.
Oh yeah.
But no, man, appreciate you making the drive.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. You grow up having a potato-shaped head like this, you got to be the funny guy.
A potato-shaped head. Welcome back for our third episode of our 3 Up 3 Down podcast. I'm your co-host Brian Hunter. This is my co-host Quentin Meyer, and our special guest here, Mr. Ken Bone, as our guest host today. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Happy to be here.
But yeah, we appreciate you making the drive. I know it's not too terribly close, but at the same time, love getting around the city, get to see the city we live in, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice out here, especially with this beautiful winter weather. Aftermath, there's just brown ice boulders everywhere. Yeah. It's a beautiful St. Louis winter. But, I'm here to represent the Metro East. It's only like an hour over from where I live, which in Midwest driving terms is nothing.
Right? 2016's Man of the People, viral phenomenon, phenom that we got here. And now we go from booth to dugout. So why don't you walk me through kind of what you're looking forward to kind of with the Kings this year? And
yeah, so I mean, the Mo WIFF Kings I still view as Nick Bone's team. I'm just running it for him. He's got a new job outside of wiffle ball this year. He's got a lot going on, and my life is not very interesting. So I'm taking over some of the managerial duties just so he doesn't have to deal with personnel issues and draft research and that sort of thing. I have a little more free time to do that. And also, I just want to be more part of the team. The Kings, not specifically the Mo WIFF Kings, but the wiffle ball team called the Kings, has been part of my life since I was able to walk and talk. So I'm glad to be able to be a bigger part of it.
So that kind of leads me to my next question. The next question I have, kind of, what is your wiffle ball history? I know the Kings are rich in history when it comes to the name and kind of your guys' history within the wiffle ball realm around the St. Louis area. If you don't mind, letting us know.
Yeah, so Mo WIFF super fan Darren Bone that you'll see at most games. Legend. He is a wiffle ball legend, one of the best to ever pick up a wiffle ball. He's got there's dedicated pages on the internet about him. I wish that back in his heyday there had been more access to recording equipment. Everybody had a camera in their phone like we do today, because this guy threw smoke. The best rising fastball you've ever seen. And this is my dad. When I was about 4, maybe 5 years old, his team, the Lakeside Kings from Granite City, Illinois, played a charity game against the St. Louis Cardinals. So Tom Pagnozzi and 5 or 6 other Cardinals came out. Dad's got hanging in his basement up on the wall an aluminum wiffle ball bat, and Kings love these aluminum bats, the lead sledges, the King sticks. That's what we grew up playing with. He's got one signed by the whole, I think it was the 86 Cardinals roster. They took it back with them. Everybody signed it, and they gave it back to us. Tom Pagnozzi, he sucked at wiffle ball. Great baseball catcher, though. I loved him.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, wiffle ball, it's, as far as I was concerned when I was a kid, I didn't understand why wiffle ball wasn't on KPLR after Blues games. It was a real sport, a legitimate pastime in our house. Dad and his team traveled all across the country. The big tournaments in their day were all on the East Coast. So they played a lot from Ohio to Pennsylvania to mostly New Jersey and the Boston area. A lot of tournaments out there. National recognition with his team. And some of the best that ever played back in the 80s and 90s played for the Kings. So they'd come from both coasts to come play for the Kings in major tournaments.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cute.
Wow. I mean, so being around Mo WIFF last couple years, like, just tell us how excited are you to finally be like the captain of the Kings? You know, running the show.
It's an unbelievable feeling. It's like when I was young, I was average player at best. So I wasn't wearing the purple and gold and playing in competitive tournaments. I'd play scrimmage games with the guys, mostly get mopped up. I could bat a little bit, but I wasn't amazing. I had a decent on-base percentage, similar to the style of my game now. I don't hit for a lot of power. I only play occasionally. I get on base. I try to be smart at the plate, get base hits, walks, that sort of thing. But I was never a big part of the team outside of what you might call the practice squad here at home, playing weekends, during high school with the guys, or mostly just hanging out and helping them out. So now to be a more legit part of the team, it's a family experience for us. So my dad being one of the great wiffle ballers that ever played, and now my brother being a team captain in Mo WIFF, we're just glad to see all these organized competitive leagues in the St. Louis area, and Mo WIFF being such a huge part of that and being a premier competitive league. It's just, I don't know, it's exciting. I love this game. I love being a part of it, and I'm really happy that we get to unretire the purple and gold and bring it back for Mo WIFF.
Just to say, top 5 jersey in the league. This one here, top 5 jersey in the league.
Oh, yeah, I love this one. This debuted at last year's Mo WIFF Classic.
Yeah, it did.
As our alternate tournament jersey.
So, are you gonna have this one and then the purple one, or are you gonna have another one as well?
We're probably just gonna have the 2 for this year. Later in the season, we may try to get some designs together to roll out either for the tournament or for next year for opening day.
Love it.
So with the rundown, I mean, just so we can be clear, I know I've called you the new captain, and I know we've kind of referenced it, but you and Nick are kind of splitting the duties, right? Would it be more you were the GM, him in the dugout, or what kind of?
Yeah, Nick's the captain on the field. I'll be doing the managerial duties. I'll set the lineup. I'll make
Nick's
sure
wearing the C on the field on the chest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll be the one that's making sure who's available to play every week, trying to get everybody their innings and their starts and their plate appearances. We may have some more challenges this year with availability. Like last year, the Kings had the same 5 starters every game for I think the first 14 games before one guy had to miss a game. We may not be able to have that much consistency this year just with new careers, and Dustin Hitchcock is expecting his first kid right around opening day. We're super proud of him, super happy.
Shout out to Mr. Hitchcock. Congrats, bro.
Yeah, and Dustin's also a police officer, so he works shift. So, sometimes it's pretty rough to come off a night shift and play wiffle ball when you got a newborn at home. So I'm obviously not going to make him take any time off, but we're going to be very understanding of his availability. And with a couple of draft picks this year, we'll have the roster spots to be able to shore that up if needed. But we'll be taking those kind of things into consideration. And that's the sort of thing that Nick is an on-the-field commander. He doesn't want to have to worry about that sort of behind-the-scenes stuff, as I'm going to take care of that for him.
Gotcha. We talk about being 5, last year, Kings 5-12. Ran into some buzzsaws. But at the same time, at one point in time, you guys, the Kings, were a buzzsaw. I think whether there's 3 weeks where the number 1 team in the league, hottest team in the league, it was just, you went up against the Kings, you weren't walking out. We were walking out limping, right?
Even with 12 losses, there were very few of those games that were just uncompetitive.
Correct, 100%.
There were a couple of tough breaks, and that's what happens in any competitive sport. And then also, like you said, the best teams would come in and we'd give them a run for their money. You make them earn it. There's no gimmies, even against the team that finished last in the AL last year. And, it was a down year for a few of our players, and we're not expecting that trend to continue. The last couple of games of last season, we saw an upward trend for everybody. Our ace pitcher, Justin Hall, who was looking real good most of the year, had a little bit of difficulty sometimes in early innings, but we saw that improve game after game after game, where he'd be able to have better early inning starts and not get himself into a hole. And I expect that trend to continue, and we're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially with the first pick in the draft. We're going to be able to add, another really hot arm, and then Justin and Nick will be splitting innings for the most part at number 2, just whoever's feeling it that day. Right. It won't be as much a set like, no, Justin's going this week, it's his turn. It's going to be like, Nick had a rough day of mail carrying or what the hell ever he does. We're going to go with Hall tonight. Or Hall was out on the job site swinging a sledgehammer over his head until 20 minutes ago. We're going to have him be in relief tonight. We're going to be able to take those things into consideration where before we couldn't. Like Keller and Hitchcock are capable of throwing, but at our level of competition, that's not what they've trained for. That's not what they've been available for. So we only really had the 2 options. Now we're going to have at least 3, and it's going to be huge. If one guy's just not feeling it tonight, there's going to be no shame in that because we got somebody else to take your place.
Yeah, talking about, we talk about the mojo and, Q, maybe I'm stealing this from you if you were going to get there. You talk about being the family, right? Mm-hmm. I would say out of everybody that we have out there, I mean, the mojo are a family. They fight for each other. They play with each other. They fight for each other. I would say, in my opinion, honestly, 1A, 1B. You could interchange out the camaraderie that you guys have kind of as a team and everything.
Well, there's a lot of history with our core. So obviously Nick Bone is my younger brother. Right. So he's the captain of the team. Then our 2 other original core members that he started with before he even was bringing anybody else in were Jake Keller and Dustin Hitchcock. And Jake Keller grew up across the street from us. Him and Nick were best buddies since they were about 8 years old, I think. Gotcha. So he's been living there the whole time. He's my favorite neighbor from when I was a kid. Just a great time. A natural athlete, high-level competitive hockey player, played in college. He now coaches hockey. He's the head of hockey operations out at the St. Peter's Recplex. So if you want your kids to learn to skate, take them to Keller out in St. Peter's. He'll teach them. He won't go too easy on them either. He'll make them really work. But he's a great natural athlete. And, just that family aspect of him growing up across the way. And then Dustin Hitchcock played hockey with them in high school and used to hang out at the house all the time. Like, he thinks of our dad, Darren, as like an uncle. He's always around the house over at Ivy Lane when we were kids.
Everyone wants Uncle Darren.
I wish I had Uncle Darren. I mean, he was my dad. I liked him fine. His brother, Scott, was like another Darren, just slightly older Darren. You'd have loved him, too. Everybody who meets this guy loves him. You can't take him anywhere because he knows everyone, everywhere you go. And he wants to talk to him for 20 minutes because they're buddies. But, Dustin became part of that tight-knit group. And then when we added Justin Hall before last season started, he was just a natural fit. Blue-collar, work ethic kind of guy who just loves the game, wants to get out there, maybe have a couple of beers, but get out there and play. Do your best to win, but if you lose, you still got to play something you love on a Thursday night at a beautiful facility. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of attitude we're looking for. We're focused on wanting to win, but if you lose, it's still next week, baby. We're gonna win again. I mean, hell, we're a double-header league. Mm-hmm. If you lose, you just put that behind you, and you try to take game 2.
Yeah, so having 2 top 5 picks in a loaded draft class, probably the most loaded we've had ever. Give us insight to the Kings draft process this year.
Well, it's been a lot of, like all of the managers been doing, watching a lot of tape and coming to our winter workout last week and meeting some of these guys and just been like texting back and forth with several of them. Because it's not just who's got the hottest arm or who's got the best barrel speed. I am a very stats-driven guy, so I am looking at that sort of thing. I'm looking at swing mechanics and looking at guys who not only throw smoke but have that repeatability where they're coming set the same way, they're releasing the same way. Maybe they have similar release points for different pitches, things that are going to fool you, a very cerebral approach to pitching. But as I'm talking to them, I'm trying to get to know them, like, who's going to be open to input. I'm not trying to tell you how to play your game, but when I tell you, like, hey, I saw that you planted your foot 6 inches to the left from where you normally do, and you're pitching way outside, did you know you're doing that? I don't want you to be like, yeah, I freaking know I'm doing it. I'm just telling you, like, I understand that it's hard to know what you're doing. That's why professional athletes watch tape of themselves to have repeatability. So when I'm giving you that kind of feedback, I'm not telling you you suck. You're better than me. Trust me. Well, you're better than I was when I was young. I believe it. But I want to tell you that sort of thing. And like our recent acquisition of Paul Pugh, Paul's the most coachable person I've ever seen in Wiffleball, which is a weird thing to say if you know Paul. And everybody in this league knows Paul and loves him. But, he'll come over the last couple of years when he was playing, and he's like, hey, what are you seeing from this pitcher? And I'm like, okay, well, when he gives his elbow this, that means the screwball's coming. And then sometimes you have to tell him the screwball's the one that goes like this. But that's the one you want to swing at. And he'll do it. And he gets on, he listens to feedback. He gets on base. He makes adjustments. Mm-hmm. So, that's the kind of attitude we want. And I just want to make sure that everybody's going to be a good fit. I'm looking for people that hopefully want to stick around with the team for a while, build a younger core, because we got a great, tight-knit, family-focused group of guys, but they're all in their 30s. And someday, this MO WIFF is going to be around a long time if we all have anything to say about it. So when we're entering season 20 and these guys want to take more of a dugout role, it'll be nice to have some guys who have been on the team for 6-7 years and are still young and still ready to get out there and play, so that we still have a franchise to be a part of as we age out. Like I'm not going to be a player manager. I'll play on a strictly emergency basis if I absolutely have to, but we're going to have the roster spots where I don't have to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to be a Tom Wilson where Tom occasionally needs to step in. Tom is probably a better pure hitter than I am. He gets more base hits than I do. But I don't think I'm going to be needed for that, and that's good. And as other guys get closer to my age and hopefully not my weight, they'll be able to step into more of that backseat role as they wish to do so also, as long as we're bringing in these younger dudes.
Love it. So what are the expectations for next year for the Kings?
I would expect us to be vastly improved. I hesitate to make guarantees, but over 500 would be a disappointment to me. That's not the ultimate goal. We're looking to get in and make a good playoff run and be a real contender, because we've got a good core. We've got guys who are able to get on base, who are able to get up there and understand that you don't have to be the hero every at-bat. You can't hit a 5-run home run no matter how hard you swing. So
Not yet.
Not yet. No, it's after these next winter meetings. No. If you hit it off the scoreboard, that's 6.5.
I think that's happened once or twice. I know
we've had a couple of scoreboard dings.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we should clip that and save that for a later date.
Yeah, it's we're gonna do it like cricket. Like you hit a home run, and as many times as you can circle the bases, you get that many runs until somebody runs around the fence and gets it back.
That's an extra inning thing. Yeah. I'm not lying.
That's going to happen in the All-Star game.
It's
the All-Star game.
Hit a two-fencer.
Hit a double fencer. It's double the points. However many people are on base. Yeah. That's something that could be
All-Star game.
That's an all. There we go.
That would be a fun All-Star inning. Play cricket rules. Make you actually run the bases, and you keep running until they bring it back.
Get what Justin played in the All-Star game, and I mean, I bet you we're going to talk with Justin a little bit later, so we're going to have to definitely bring up the All-Star game, see how much fun that was playing.
It was a blast to call.
Yeah.
All the weird alternate rules. Like
it wasn't a blast to lose the way we did.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's just a
you
fun
can't
game.
win everything, Q. I know. You got to learn this sometimes.
Well, it was me. I popped up on a freaking lob pitch.
Well, it's okay. You can't catch line drives right at you either.
Yeah, sitting down.
Which we finally did find that clip.
So it's all right. I got one equally as funny.
We may have to post something with it, but no, man, Ken, we appreciate you coming on. I don't have any other questions for you, but do you have any questions for us?
Well, I mean, how are your teams looking? I'm giving you the dish on the Kings. What's the competition looking like?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll speak to it a little bit. We'll have a segment on me later on a little bit, but I can give a quick rundown. New team for me, obviously being a new captain this year. Already taken a proven staff that's already there. Got the rookie of the year. I have the manager of the year. He stepped down, but he just wants to focus on life a little bit and just have some fun. Kind of how, you're taking over for Nick. Some of the operational stuff. I've got more time on my hands than what Andrew does, but my whole aspect is getting young and staying hot. And so, I mean, just keeping up the good work, that we got coming off a Rookie of the Year campaign for Dom Strowski. Hopefully having him take that next step. Spencer Foss taking that next step and continue getting better. And then us getting stronger with a little bit of a bat. I talked to the boys right after I took over the team. I go, what's the one thing you would say we need? And they go, a bat. And I literally kind of chuckled, and I was like, oh, well, here I am. And I mean, said it jokingly. But we all know, a lifelong $167 hitter that I am, not going to get the job done. But so we're looking for somebody who's going to be a little bit more consistent when it comes to the bat. And if they can throw, nobody's going to be mad about having an extra arm, the availability to go. But kind of that's how we're looking. We're looking, we finished third in the division of a pretty loaded division. We're looking to bounce back. 2 years in a row they've won the division. The Thunderbirds have won the division. I want to win a division again. I want to, last year with the Purge, we won the division. Controversial the way we got there, but we still won it. But, I still got that. I want to do it again. I want to win that. And, I want to be able to go into the playoffs and, mow down and, get to the top. And if it's got to be through the Mojo or the Kings, by all means, good. I want a good fight.
Absolutely.
So, just a quick rundown on my part.
Hey, man, Q, for you, what do you, you had a good rookie year, had a fantastic sophomore year. What are you looking to change, or are you looking to change anything as you move forward in your career?
Well, I'm always looking to change. I'm always looking to improve on my seasons. But, I mean, winning a championship, a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing to improve. But for me and our team, we're hungrier than ever. We got to hear from our commissioner. Oh, we've never won 2. I'm the only one to win 2. Only go back to back. Not a shot at Cam. It's just the reality of things. He's gone back to back. I mean, we want to win it again. Our team, we're more pumped than ever. We got some things setting into place. Maybe somebody's moving from somewhere to play more. But, we're hungrier than ever. We want to be back on top. We are now the hunted. We're not hunting anymore. But for myself, some tweaks in my batting stance for sure. More consistency. I changed it a lot last year, as I noticed. And just getting the average up. Try not to drop fly balls while sitting down. But, no, I expect big things from the Mojo this year. I'm excited. The league's getting better. And, the more competition, the better.
Yeah, I think the Mojo, pending how this draft goes, are obviously still the team to beat on paper. We have to see how it shakes out after the draft happens. But it's going to be a really fun year for the Mojo. Just an absolute stacked roster with no holes in it. And not having a top draft pick this year, we'll have to see how that affects the parity of the league.
I think it makes it a little bit, we get even, right?
Yeah.
I think that this will be a very potentially could level set a lot of teams of where we're at when it comes to having that de facto, 1, 2, and then a third. Where every team's going to have that ace, that number 2, and then, have a third arm that can throw. So I think we're going to see a lot of things kind of level out a little bit this year. I mean, that's just my opinion. They're already getting there, and we'll talk more about kind of what I'm getting at here in the second segment because, I want to use Justin as an example, but I want him to kind of speak to it a little bit. But other than that, we want to thank Ken for his time today. Ken may be back here in our third segment a little bit later, but from that on, we will be right back.
The Metalheads were still really competitive then, and the slow little knuckle. Get some swing. Oh, nasty.
That is a no-doubter.
He's running it.
That is a no-doubter. Bat flip, crush.
It's almost Miller time, supposedly.
And
he goes
they do it.
And that'll do it as the Kings upset this mighty Archer team. Cut him and it doesn't count.
There's a good pitch there, and he is now one strike away from his best pitching performance of his career.
Probably is, regardless of how this ends up. There he
There
goes,
it
strike
is.
3, and Justin Hall has completed the no-hitter of the Mojo.
And gets the very first.
Yeah, the first Kings franchise win on the back of
Mr. Justin Hall has joined us here. Oh, yeah, sorry. 24th season. You know, you lowered your ERA from the previous year by almost 2, from 4.20 down to 2.37. So that alone is excellent. You took your record to, you had a 4-3 record on the mound versus a 1-3 record the previous year. You know, kind of, how did it feel last year than did the previous year?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I've been watching what you guys have been doing with it, and it's pretty sweet. I really like where the direction is going so far. You guys are doing great. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. But yeah, last year was awesome. And winning that award was pretty cool. You know, I didn't really think that I was going to win it, to be honest with you, because, you know, I had like ups and downs in the season, and where, you know, I think I did better than the season before. I still had moments where I kind of looked back at and was like, man, I wish I could have done this differently or a little better or whatever. But, you know, I was proud overall of the body of work that I did last year, and had a lot of fun doing it with a group of guys that I love to play Wiffleball with. So, shout out to the Kings. Love being on the Kings. And then as far as the record, that was cool, you know, to get some more wins finally. Winning's a lot more fun than losing. So, but I think also, like I said, there's some areas, some parts, like there was highs and lows. So like there was like a 3-week span or whatever where I was like, I felt like I was on top of the world, you know. But then there was like
we're on top of the world.
3-week span after that where it's like I can't even hit the zone again. What's going on, you know? And it's like, but it would only just be like one inning, and then the rest of the innings, I was like, okay, back to it or whatever. So I just want to kind of like, I guess, move in onto this next year. You know, just keep it going in the right direction, keep improving, just be more consistent on the mound and also at the plate. So, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so those 3 weeks that you talked about, you beat the Mojo, the Mambas, and the Archers, all back to back. Walk us through those 3 weeks. Like, what was going through your head, the team, just whatever.
So I think the first one was against the Mojo,
Yes.
and there was, I believe it was Sam Skibby's birthday.
It was.
And there was like some chatter in the, you know, the group chat, which I always love having a little bit of chatter in the group chat before the game, just a little pregame, get everybody's juices going, you know. So I think someone said it was, you know, it was Sam's birthday, and so just
You hit the Mojo on Sam's birthday?
Yep.
yeah. But anyways, you know, I kind of try to like poke some fun. It's like, oh, I guess I got to beat Sam on his birthday,
Yeah.
you know, and nobody expected that to happen. But I did have like a good feeling that I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play my game. Yes, I'm going up against Sam Skibby on his birthday, who's like probably, you know, one of the best wiffle ball players of all time. So, you know, no big deal, just another game. So just have fun with it, and that's what I did. I tried to relax, and I finally stopped overthrowing. And once I kind of felt I had a good, you know, control of like a couple of the pitches, I was able to expand and try some of my other stuff, and that started to hit. And next thing you know, I hit the Mojo.
Yeah.
So that was pretty sweet. Then I think the second one was
It was the Mambas.
the Mambas, which was a lot closer game.
The Karma Kings game.
A lot of fun. I love going up against my buddy James Dutton on the Mambas. He's a phenomenal pitcher. So I think we went to maybe extras in that game.
I think, yeah.
And my buddy Jake Wilson
6 innings
coming
pitched.
through in the clutch. Was I pitched 6 innings?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
6 innings pitched.
I think James did too, maybe. But
James.
They-
Yep, you both went 6 innings.
that was a good game. But yeah, Jake coming through in the clutch, hitting that grand slam was so unbelievably awesome. What a moment. And then lastly, the Archers. This game was really fun because, you know, as we all know, Tony Cochran, excellent trash talker in the league.
He's all right, I
loved
guess.
to gloat about the fact that he was undefeated in the, you know, regular season. And so
Yeah.
I try to get ahead of the curve, you know. When I found out that I was going up against Tony, I was like, I guess your record, you know, it's going to end tonight. You know, try to get his head fire him up a little bit, and it did. It worked because he he was like throwing pretty hard in that first inning, and you could just tell. You go back and watch the game, he was revved up, firing, and I think it kind of did work to our advantage a little bit. Got tired out quicker, and that was another fun battle. But we ended up coming out victorious in that, so that was really cool. A lot of fun overall, and then like Ken was saying earlier in the segment, there were so many games that like we lost. It seemed like just barely. Like we were in them the whole time, and then just brutally, just not coming up in the end victorious.
Yeah, that second game against us. Wonderful. Right after you no-hit us, Nick had it 0-0 in like I think the 4th inning.
Yep.
And then I forget who started it. I think it might have been Brett Spencer. It was one of the Spencers, and then it just blew it open. It just opened the doors for us.
Yeah, and this offseason I've been watching tape and just going back and seeing what we could do better or change or tweak or whatever. And I watched that game, and I'm like, I texted Nick right after. I'm like, dude, we have to close those games out.
Yeah.
You can't pitch that good for 4 innings, and then we just, we got to finish these things out. So hopefully this year, we're going to all come with a little bit more hunger, I would say, than last year. I think last year was a pretty disappointing season for all of us, just because, not making the playoffs, that blows. We've been having the off-season now for, it seems like, a year. So we're ready to get back. We're hungry, ready to get back to playing some wiffle ball. We're all at our best when we're playing together, so pretty excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you were a new addition to the Kings. I mean, obviously the Kings were the rebranded team from the Pilots, right?
Yeah.
It was the Pilots?
Yep.
So, coming in, Nick gets his captaincy, becomes a captain, knew everything, rebranded everything. But you did not play with you played with Nick previously year in the Bombers.
Yep.
So coming together with Keller and Hitchcock and everything.
Yep.
How was that? How does that all tie together for you? Like, how did you feel like you guys gelled?
So basically, I knew Dustin from just playing in the league with him, and I knew that him and Nick were friends just because they'd hang out after games and whatever. And Nick and I played on the Bombers together, and just naturally had a good chemistry the whole time. I think it was like maybe the first or second game we played together, and he was already asking if I'd play with him on the Boneheads for the Midwest or the
Mo
WIFF Classic or whatever. So we just really hit it off immediately. Felt like we got similar ages and like the similar stuff, so it just seemed like a good fit. And then his buddies have been with him his whole life, and anybody a friend of Nick Bone is a friend of mine, so it just kind of worked out. Well, and like I said, we're all similar ages, similar life experiences, blue collar workers, not afraid to get dirty, type of thing. So yeah, that's how we kind of became, I guess, a core. And then also in the off season, before we even played as the Kings, we'd meet up like 3 or 4 times, I think, and just played wiffle ball together. Got to know each other, try to help each other improve, and just build that chemistry. So ever since I've known Nick, it seemed like a good fit. And then getting to meet Keller and Dustin has been awesome. And then it just seems like everyone's got the same culture that we're trying to go for. Everybody shows up all the time. Everybody's like team oriented. Whatever way we can win is what we want to do. We don't care about playing time, batting order. We want to win. That's what we're here.
Well, we're going to make sure your manager, making the lineups, he knows that.
Yeah.
I think he already knows that. It's cool to hear about the camaraderie and how you guys are kind of naturally forming and coming together.
Yeah.
And everything. And it's always cool to hear that, because in all reality, it's like work, right? They say if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. If you're playing with your buddies, it sucks to lose, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But as long as you're having a good time,
yeah,
who gives a shit?
Yeah, playing the game that I've always loved playing, it's just a blessing. So, you never want to take that for granted.
Coach?
So, in WIA last year, you joined us for the Mo WIFF Miracle. Tell us about that.
So that was a really fun experience. I've never been to that type of tournament, like on a national scale like that before. So that was just cool to get, dip my toes in and get the kind of experience. This year I actually kind of want to challenge myself a little bit more and go to a couple more out-of-state tournaments and, just kind of like embrace the wiffle ball culture, get to know more people around, the scene and stuff, and try to improve my game. You know, be a more well-rounded wiffle ball player. Like back in November, I think it was, Skibby had that tournament, so you know I got to play a slow pitch tournament. But you know, just being a more well-rounded wiffle ball player. So like NWLA clean ball, we're used to cut and scuff usually, and MO WIFF. So that was like a not just a new experience of tournament, but a new ball and playing style completely. So that was very challenging, but also very fun. Like I really did enjoy it. It's much different than what we're used to at MO WIFF. It's like, I mean, base running and clean ball and.
That's the reason why I stay home.
Yeah.
Base running.
Yeah, base running, that part was not my favorite. Luckily, I'm more of a pitcher than a hitter, so that was what I was there for, really, not to hit. But, yeah, I mean, that was probably highlight of the year, one of the best tournaments I've been in last year. A lot of fun. We didn't do as good as I hoped, but we didn't finish the last. So
no, we didn't. Yeah. Every team that year, because the limited amount of teams that went made it to Sunday, and we won our first game on Sunday.
Yeah, that was
and
pretty cool.
And then we almost won our second game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Just to get a win on a Sunday, you know, like that.
In a big tournament, it's huge.
In a national tournament, I mean, even as a team that, you know, might be coming together, and everybody's learning their role, because a lot of those teams you see that do win or that win continuously, everybody's got a role.
Yeah, and
right?
not to mention just a new playing style and everything, but new team core or team completely. Like none of us really ever played with each other, like only against each other for that. So just get to play with a new group of guys, that was really fun, and hang out and stuff. So
yeah,
good experience overall.
It was a blast.
Gotcha. So talking about different styles and everything, I think out of anybody we could talk to, I think you had the absolute most fun during the 2024 MO WIFF All-Star Game. Yeah. I mean, I think you absolutely it was fun watching you play, just because, I mean, everybody's having a good time, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was just pure joy coming from you.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of walk me through a little bit of that and how you kind of felt.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the most fun I've ever had at MO WIFF. Like, that was, like, seriously such a fun night. All the different rules that we had to play with each inning, and then also just like playing with the league's best, like that was really cool, just to be able to be on a team with all those guys. Like, I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of respect for all those guys. They're very good. But yeah, the hitting the home run with the yellow bat, that was pretty fun. What else was there?
There was the home run. There was the barrel. I wish I should have pulled everything. I should have.
I know there's a left-handed inning, which I really wanted. I might have struck out or something in that one, but I felt like I was going to do a lot better. I think everyone wanted to hit a home run left-handed, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, even Q tried.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I did.
Come on, that was the first. You did hit it. I mean, it just got brought back.
I hit one before that.
Oh, did you hit one? Did you hit one before that? All right, that takes the fun out.
I think I hit one in the first inning.
But you were part of the highlight, regardless of who hit it. Regardless, all right.
I've been a part of some crappy highlights.
It unfortunately happened to you in the box. That ball that got hit.
The most athletic thing Ethan Weiner's done in his entire life.
That was incredible.
Holy shit!
That was incredible.
Ethan jumps, bats that ball. And then was it Nick or Andrew catches it?
Came back and caught it.
He is high stepping looked like Deion Sanders high stepping in the end zone, just having just little kids, man. It was.
Yeah, it brought me back. It felt like it just felt like playing in the backyard with my buddies. You know, that was it was a great time, great experience.
Oh man. So, I mean, you know, we've talked about, you know, earlier in the first segment, I know we talked about, you know, you guys having that first pick. I mean, how exciting is it to be in the position you guys are with 2 picks in the top 5?
Pretty exciting. You know, finishing 7th last year. I really hope we can at least make the playoffs this year if we're going to get a number 1 draft pick. That's what, you know, you would hope. So, I'm very excited to see who we get. I have no clue who we're getting, but I know we're going to be getting better on January 26th, whoever it is. There's a lot of good talent in this draft.
Look at you plugging our draft already for us. Hey, this Sunday, January 26th, B-Dubs, Winsville.
See you there, Big Square.
Draft starts at noon. If you haven't already signed up or RSVP to be there, make sure you get that filled out. And if you need the link sent to you, just reach out to Q and I. We both got it. We can both make it happen. Sorry, didn't mean to. I just took that advantage.
Yeah.
Took advantage of that. I think I just stole Q's question that he had for you by asking that. Because I realized halfway through, I was like, that's what Q... I
only had that question for Ken.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, man, it's... we look forward to seeing what that next step looks like for you for this year. Because I think building off and talking about what you're doing, I think we're going to see great things out of you, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah.
I do have another question.
Oh.
I just thought of it.
Okay.
Have you been working in this off season?
Working my side job as building houses, I have been, but Wiffle Ball, no, I've been taking it easy, resting the wing.
There you go. Sorry, I've done literally nothing.
No, I haven't done a thing. Just been watching tape, really.
Hey, that's doing something, man.
That's yeah. You may not.
It's
be,
cold, man. It's hard to get.
It's
It's hard to get out there. We just had like
warmer.
a foot of snow.
Yeah, it needs to get warmer.
Yeah.
You know, something I'm doing, or that I did last off season, I'm doing this off season. I mean, granted, I've got a bigger screen, with a projector I can watch, but I mean, putting it up on TV, like the TV, big screen TV or whatnot, or even on anything you can watch, and literally just acting like you're in a box, and watching pictures, and just so you can get the timing down to when you're stepping. I mean, that to me,
that's a good idea.
Made a big difference. 100%. I make the comment. I mean, I'd still like to see it. I see a lot of pitches come at least able to stay alive or at least stay on top of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I strike out a lot, but I'm a free swinger. I'll openly admit it. But I mean, just doing stuff like that. I can't full on swing or full on throw yet, even though I've been cleared to start. So I mean, that's where I'm at.
Nice.
So
have you been doing any PT or anything?
No, really didn't do any PT. I bought some little like hand gripper things, just kind of strengthen the forearm.
Okay.
Because that's what's going to do, and gripping a ball a lot, and just kind of just gently throwing it up against a wall, or throwing it up in the air and just
you
catching
feel any
it. Just
pain or anything, or
it gets sore after time. But I mean, it's been a couple weeks since I've been cleared, but it's I get better over time.
Sure.
I was throwing BP to my 12U baseball team I coach.
Nice.
And I mean, I threw about 150 pitches one night. I mean, next morning woke up, was like, had to ice it, but I mean, a little bit of aspirin, ice it, just kind of take care of it.
Some arm candy.
Right. Just get myself in a better situation. I mean, I'll never throw again the way that I used to back in the day. But
sure.
I mean, hell, I didn't throw that hard to begin with. But no, I just want to be able to swing. I just want to be able to put full power on that.
Absolutely.
Because it sucks knowing the fact that I felt like I let the purge down. Last year because of the fact that I was batting 2 in that lineup, and I mean, in that first and second game, I flew out to the wall, which could have changed the trajectory of how the purge season ended.
Yep.
But you know what? Better team still. I mean, overall, we got beat. Archers won. Went on. We know how the mojo kind of took care of that. But
get my broom out.
Oh God. He finds something new every week to bring that up or get that in there. But no, man, I love it. But no, I love where the league's going. I've talked about it before. With you. I think kind of astounding or expounding on what you said. Talking about watching every team get better. But no, man, we appreciate you coming on and everything this way, and hopefully we'll have you on again. When you win a Player of the Week or 2, awards throughout the season. But other than that, unless you got any questions for us.
Yeah, no, it's an honor. Thank you guys for having me. Again, you guys are doing a great job. I love watching and listening to the podcast. Last thing I want to say is Jimmy Stout's feet smell like onions.
Wow.
And with that, we'll be right back.
Huh. Okay.
So as we talked about in previous episodes and everything, a couple weeks ago before the weather turned to snow and ice and got super cold, we had a little mini pro day with a couple of the rookies that are coming into our draft. As we've talked about earlier in the earlier segments today, our draft this Sunday, 12 noon, Buffalo Wild Wings in Wentzville. If you have an RSVP, make sure you get an RSVP because, we are holding out, the first 50 to 60 people. That's what we're going to be able to fit in the ring. But if we can't fit in the room, that doesn't mean not to come out. Come on out, have a good time. It's going to be Championship Sunday for, you NFL fans, be able to watch some AFC and NFC Championship games. Plus, it's at Buffalo Wild Wings. Mm-hmm.
Big deal.
Everybody loves a good sports bar. As we sit here and go, here's the interview.
here with the 4 draft prospects. I'm going to start with you, Mr. James Klein. James, why should you be the number 1 overall pick in 2025?
Throw pretty hard, throw a lot of strikes, can hit pretty good when I'm on it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was great. Mr. Josh, why should you be the number 1 overall pick in 2025?
I've only been doing this for a few months, and I feel like I've improved a lot. I like to work hard, do practice, so I think I'm going to improve and only get better from here.
All righty. Bryson, why should you be the number 1 overall pick?
I think I should be the number 1 pick because I have versatile pitches, I can hit, and I'm only getting better from here.
Love it. Why should you be the number 1 overall pick?
Oh, you didn't introduce him?
I have no name.
Yeah. I've never seen this guy.
I should be the number 1 overall pick. I've had a big year. I think I've kind of earned it. And I don't talk a lot. I let my game do the talking for me.
Love to hear it. All right. So, we'll start from the same. James, what introduced you to Mo WIFF?
You and and Doug, and seeing the videos on YouTube really inspired me to get into.
Oh, what introduced you into Mo WIFF?
Jason did.
Of course he did. What introduced you into Mo WIFF?
Back in July, when I just moved out here, I was in a tournament with Pat Ballman, and I faced Cam's team, and I sat them down. And,
Fun.
Yeah, and Cam had me
Make sure we get
talk to him, and he wanted me to join the league.
What introduced you into Mo WIFF?
I just follow a lot of Wiffle Ball, and I've been following Mo WIFF for a while, and found out we were moving out here, and I thought it was a good opportunity.
All right. Well, these are our draft prospects. I ran out of questions, so
I got a couple here. We'll switch.
all right.
We'll switch here.
Here's your microphone.
Well, we're gonna start we're gonna start from the masses, right? So we just spent the last 2.5 hours out here. Had a couple of you guys pitch against each other. You guys hit against each other. How do we overall feel like the day went?
Oh, I'm feeling amazing. I think I pitched pretty good. The hitting off was off, but I think I did pretty good.
Josh?
Yeah, pretty good. It was fun. Got to see some pitches, throw some pitches. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I proved myself out here. Showed why I should be here.
Okay. Brody?
I'm not exactly thrilled with how I played, but it was nice to meet everybody. No, I can definitely play better. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, we go into this spring training event. We know some of you, we know, Brody, you won't be here. But, you guys will all be here at the spring training event where you're going to see, the slew of people that weren't able to make it today. We're going to be able to kind of put you up against some of those. Sorry, we got some background noise going over here.
They're having a great time.
Some of the talent you didn't get to see today. Does that make you nervous, kind of excite you? Was today something that kind of just broke a few of those nerves, if any?
That kind of excites me, actually, because I like to see new competition, and I like to face better players instead of terrible players.
Are you calling us bad?
No.
I think he's calling me bad.
All you guys are good.
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm excited. I think the competition here was really good, so I'm just excited to see some more, what's in the league already and get some more practice in.
I think it's a bit of both, like nerves and excitement. Meeting new guys and facing new competition. I just think it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna get better. And I think it's yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I've been playing Wiffle Ball for a little bit now, so I don't really get nervous very easily when I'm going up against new competition. I just enjoy playing against the best of the best.
Gotcha. Well, that takes it from our little powwow, our little pro day before the combine, if you will. But other than that, stay tuned, and we'll be bringing you up our next segment. That was a fun day we had there, right? You know, got to get everybody out, got to see some people that we haven't got to see before. Mm-hmm. You know, we had a couple people from the league. Pat Ballman, Pat was out there, Dom was out there, Spencer Foss came for a little bit.
Foss showed up.
But just get to see just a little bit of, the new, newer players coming in versus players that have been playing a little bit more competitively over the time, right? So I know I stepped into the box a little bit and just to kind of get to see some pitching. And I was like, yay, fun. But, when you're kind of coming in cold, it's definitely one of those things where you're not expecting seeing it.
Yeah, there's definitely some moments in there that I wish I got a second chance at some people. Brody Livingston, I can't wait to face him again. you don't get to see a lot of lefties. But national circuit, and there's only one in Mo Wiff, but I mean,
well, Hitchcock isn't Hitchcock lefty?
He hits lefty. I don't think
he hits lefty. That's right.
I don't think he throws lefty.
That's right.
He throws. Yeah, he's like me.
Right.
Bats left, throws right. But I mean, going out there and seeing my 16-year-old cousin, who I played with since I was like 8 years old, out there pumping almost 100 that was pretty fun to see.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. At 16 years old to be able to throw a wiffle ball that hard. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
It's like I watch it and it's just like, screw you. Yeah. Respectfully, that sucks.
I mean, the kid does it pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it. It's just like, wow.
He warms up like when we warm up together. We throw a weighted ball, then we throw a lighter one, then we throw a wiffle ball around, and he's like, all right, I'm good. And he'll go in the box, throw a 98-mile-per-hour riser, and he'll be like, okay, I'm good.
Dude.
Jealousy.
Like I say, Josh Wheeler, never played wiffle ball before, kind of coming in, both gonna be another two-way guy. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's still learning and everything. Learn how to throw, sits in the mid-80s right now when he's warmed up. Still learning grips and pitches and everything. I mean, committed. I mean, not saying not everybody's committed as much as he is, but I mean, to the fullest, goes out, buys a radar, goes by a mound, goes by his 2 bucket of balls, got one for hitting and one for pitching.
Yeah.
And it's just
clean, cut.
Just taking, build a batting cage in his basement.
I mean, he's got the Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. I mean,
oh yeah.
From the Mo Wiff Midwest Classic in August to even the spring training we had last weekend, it's night and day difference. The amount of work he puts in to go from not playing wiffle ball to throwing, high to mid 80s and then hitting, it's insane to see how far he's come just in the short couple months.
Right. But to kind of get on topic here for this third segment here, I mean, it's draft week.
It's
the Kings are on the clock. They've been on there. Even though we had, a couple of the Kings here, we didn't ask the question. We hinted towards it. I think we've kind of addressed, what their needs are and what they're looking at going after, But still, like Ken said earlier, there's still tape to go through.
Yep.
Nothing's guaranteed lock until, 12, whenever he gets announced on the clock and he steps up to that podium on draft day. We don't know where that's going, and it adds a little fun, adds a little fuel to it.
It's the most excited I think I've been for a draft. There's been so much, politics, more of I
call it gamesmanship.
Yeah, not necessarily politics, but it's kind of like 2018, I think. Well, who are the Browns going to take? Are they going to take Saquon or are they going to take Baker Mayfield? Do they take Josh Rosen? In this case, do they take James Cline? Do they take Brody Livingston? What do they do? You never know. So it's pretty fun. There's going back and forth, especially talking to Ken here. He's just talking about the little things, the stuff that I don't even pick up on. So I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew. Right, I'm sitting at 2.
I know.
So that way I can start kind of making my plans. But that's the best thing about a draft. Got to be able to adjust, and move on the fly. So it's going to be one of those things that it's going to be exciting. We're looking at live streaming our draft through our Mo Wiff channels on YouTube. So like we've done them before, make sure you like and follow at the button, and that way you can always get alerts for when our games go live and when me and Q come. We're going to be coming at you a little bit faster than we have been in a couple weeks right after our draft. Just kind of getting ourselves into our season flow and kind of building our rhythm, and that way we know, what content's working, what's not. And by all means, leave a comment, and everything that way for us, or text us, call us, any ideas you have that could help us make it better, or even just to tell us if you think we're doing a good job. We like kudos, or at least I do every once in a while.
I'll take it.
But no, I mean, the draft, plain and simple, as it stands right now, the Kings have 2 of the top 5 picks.
Yep.
They've got that draft order as it stands right now, is going to be Kings at 1, Thunderbirds at 2, Archers are at 3, Mambas are at 4, Kings are back around again at 5, Mambas at 6, Purge have 7 and 8, so they're back to back. Archers are at 9, and as it stands right now, Kings are at 10, but that very well may change. We don't know what this order is going to be come draft day. We've got rumblings and stumblings of, trades and everything coming around. So, we'll know exactly what that lineup is and we'll be able to bring that to you from Buffalo Wild Wings on Sunday. I think me and Q might try and be filming a little something while we're there as well.
I mean, follow us on all social medias. As it stands, TikTok, I think, is officially back up. So,
as it stands right now, at this exact moment.
At this exact moment, as this is being recorded, TikTok is back up. But, I mean, there's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then I guess TikTok as well. I mean, this is on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. But when a trade goes through, if a trade is bound to happen, you'll be the first one to hear it on social media. Most likely Instagram will be the first one that goes up.
Gotcha. So, and our new Instagram. We should be plugging that now.
Absolutely.
Hey.
3 Up 3 Down.
Yep. Our 3 Up 3 Down _pod is our new Instagram handle.
Mm-hmm.
Go over there to be able to check the episodes out as well.
Yep.
Or at least clips of the episodes that we find funny. We had some pretty good conversations with Justin and Ken today. And, even getting more from the spring training event, from the spring training event that we held just last weekend, to, anything else that kind of comes across. It's gonna be a good time. We've got a good little crew working on that with us.
Mm-hmm.
So by all means, like we said, kind of follow that all up. But the thing that I think looking at the draft board the way it is right now.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing it back to topic. Sorry. The thing I'm looking at with the draft board that is going to be the big thing is that purge at 7 and 8.
Yeah, that's a big one.
They sit there and do they keep it? Do they flip one?
Right.
Do the Bombers try and move it? Who don't have a first round pick? Do they try and move up into this draft to get somebody? Melonheads, they traded away their first pick. Back a year ago whenever they made some trades. Do they try and move up? Is there capital there? Do they try and add to that already loaded roster with the additions of Jordan and Ryan O'Rear? I mean, there are things that are, teams can do to better their draft stock, to put their name out there that maybe they just haven't said it yet. Maybe everything's so under wraps. Maybe Ken trades away number 1 overall. We don't know. To see just to kind of see what potentially could happen. Only time will tell. So I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, it's some sleepless nights coming up here. What are we, 7 days?
I sleep pretty good. But
I sleep pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I had nothing to do with it. We're sitting at 18.
I'm just excited. It's just mostly like I could have nothing to do with it. And
I'm definitely excited, but I mean, I'm obviously not in the situation that you're in right now. I mean, if I had the second pick with the 2 players, I think I'd be pretty adamant going back and forth, but I'm not. So I sleep pretty good knowing that I don't have that situation.
No, with that being said, we appreciate everybody tuning in. A little bit shorter of an episode, a little bit more closer to that hour time frame that we're wanting to stay around and be with, just to kind of keep consistency for you guys. But, if we feel like the content we're getting out there is, worth the extra time, by all means, it'll always be there. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm Brian Hunter. This is Quentin Meyer, and we're signing off for the day.
Peace out, Brian.